what would you, or do you have anything to say to these people that kind of call you out and say,
No,
well, shit, man, you're talking, it's autocross, it's not real motorsport, it's...
Yeah, come and do it. That's
Right.
at the end of the day, it is the same thing. Come and do it, you know. I can jokingly say, and I'll say this straight, this is jokingly say, half the people who, 97, and I will even go as far, 99% of the people who are out there mouthing me have never beaten an R5. Boom! But... I'm
using that as the beginning of this
we gotta
video.
use that as a clip.
Yeah. But that is where it comes from, you know.
But I think even that alone, you know, I mean...
but I'm saying come out and enjoy it.
Camber House.
Give me my respect.
Welcome to Camber House.
You now rocking with the best.
Join your hosts, Jeremy and James, as they take an unfiltered and uncensored look at the car industry and motorsport across the globe.
You can't find the right tool in this garage, you don't belong near a car.
Welcome to the home of car culture.
Ladies and gents, we're back. Camber House. I don't know what episode we're on.
7, 8, 6, I don't know, something.
Who knows? But today is actually an exciting one for me, something that I'm going to get to learn a little bit more about, which is autocross. And today, introducing the one and only, the self-proclaimed Coon King of Barbados, 6-time champion, R5 killer, apparently the Lewis Hamilton of autocross in Barbados, for what you hear. Ladies and gents, Chris McFarlane. Chris, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I don't know how much of that is polite or ribbing or you know what?
Hey, we're going with it. We're going with it today.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Today's a good day. It is my birthday.
Oh shit, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
My
Happy
Thank you. I'm officially of the age where I can say I'm old, 45.
Hey.
Oh, is that the number then?
Yeah,
that's what makes you old?
Yeah. So I hear.
45 is the new 35,
So I hear.
right?
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
Apparently so. All right, Chris, what we usually do in the beginning of this is take it back to the roots, take it back to the beginning. I know you grew up in Jamaica. You're from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. Do you have an early memory of motorsport in general when you were young? I mean, you tell me. What do you think?
So my uncle used to race in the States. He used to race against Mario Andretti, that era.
Okay.
And he used to run Formula 2000. So motorsport, you know, you're going to watch him and you're kind of feeling this great.
In the blood.
And you're seeing all his images. But my first personal, really, that feeling of absolute connection to motorsport was sitting down at Dover Raceway. Went down with family and friends. I could not have been more than 10 or 11 or 12. Mm-hmm. And I just aged myself to tell you how long ago that was. And sitting down literally by corner 3, right in the runoff of corner 3. Mm-hmm. You know, we're talking, if a car ran off, we're all dead, kind of, in the runoff of corner 3 of Dover Raceway, just after they had made it tarmac. And just being amazed by Peter Moody, Christopher Issa, David Somerville Sr., David Somerville Jr., Jody Somerville, Mandy Somerville, all those names, the Whartons, the Martin, just Causewell, just being like, wow, that's what I want, the old escort days. And
Right.
You know, sitting down out there and you're like, the dream then was just one day.
Right.
Maybe I can get a lap or two of any car.
Right.
Even if it happened to be this thing that we had at the time, well, shortly after that, you know, started going years and years, and then my parents bought my brother a car that was solidly nicknamed the Salad.
A racing car or just just a car?
It was a fantastic, very fast, 360cc, 2-stroke Subaru Caravan.
Nice.
Okay, so not a racing car.
Absolutely, man. It sounded just like one.
In Jamaica.
It sounded just like one. And so, you know, 3 years later now when we're going back and we actually drove the Salad down there, the idea was if I could just get the Salad on it. The problem was to get to Dover is normally from Kingston back then about a 2-hour trip. About 3 hours in the Salad. So a friend of ours said, I think you guys need to choose something else to go on the track because I think one lap of this, one will take too long, and two, the car won't make it back to Kingston. We literally drove that car with toolkits, everything, because we had to stop. We had always had an overall kit in the car, seriously, because it's two-stroke,
How old were you at this point?
Probably about 15, 16.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you did a lap?
No, didn't do a lap yet. I actually started racing motorcycles from about 13.
Okay.
Dirt bikes?
Dirt bikes.
Okay.
Dirt bikes. And to me, that's the most amazing training you can get in anything at all, is dirt bikes. Your eyes. Well, let's put this. In a go-kart, you go to the go-kart, you make a mistake, what happens? You spin. What is that? That's like a roller coaster. That's fun. On a bike, you go to make a mistake. You don't spin.
You fall off.
You get hurt.
Yeah.
So you learn. Lessons learned very, very, very quickly. So, but taking it from motorcycles, running with David Somerville, Rouge Misère, all those guys. We didn't grow up in a wealthy family. So, I had a hand-me-down. I actually had the last air-cooled 250cc last air-cooled CR250 that there was dual shocks on the back. It was the fastest thing in the straight line, but that only problem was on the front and the back. You had this thing called drum brakes. And drum brakes either work or they don't work. 90% of the time they didn't work. So you learned a lot. So I learned a lot of, you had to be way ahead of yourself, thinking way ahead of yourself. So,
And how long did you do the bikes for?
Up until probably about age 18, 17, and then switched the cars.
And then you crossed over.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously you had a dream back to, do a lap of Dover. So when did that actually take place?
That took place at age 19.
Okay.
Sorry, age 18. Age 19.
In what? And how did it come about?
Peugeot 205 GTI,
Nice.
my first car.
Great.
My
That's your first car?
first car.
It's not a bad car to
A
have.
1.6. It was a baby one. Then about a 1.9 and about another 1.9. But it is that was it. And that was actually my first race car. So it went from when I was 18, 19 I bought the car. 20 I started doing sound systems, and I was working with Air Jamaica at the time, so I was traveling the whole Caribbean. And as a flight attendant, and the great part about that was, I could this is 20 something years ago, so I can say it now. We call it Constitution, says in the but getting in and out of customs with stuff, I was the Orion speaker dealer,
Right, and
I would bring in. Every time I travel, my bag had something in it, and and you see, you were quickly racking up some money, and how better to spend what money you're racking up with than
in a racing car.
in a racing car. I think it's a perfect way to burn money.
Right. You got that right.
Why burn it with things like
house and
house
savings.
and-
Housewife, housewife and children.
Who wants that?
Hopefully my wife's not listening. She's not.
Yeah, she's not.
You're not 19
Definitely
anymore.
I know, yeah, sure. So the first car, the GTI, is what you turned into a race car?
Yeah. So it went from a 32 speaker sound system to a race car.
Okay.
And it did a couple events at Dover.
So how was that you got into doing race events first? Is
Track racing.
Track racing.
Okay.
Track racing. And
how'd it go?
It went well. My first race.
This would have been in like a clubman group, so the car was standard,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Club and car. First race I think was 1997, which was when Don Heaven Dover had closed for a little bit. Don Heaven reopened it and reopened it with a race for basically a endurance style racing.
Nice.
And so we had a 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours, whatever it was long. So we got back into that, and so that was that was my first race there. So before that, I was doing dexterities and all the other things, So, but the race when you're talking about big people racing, that was the big one, and got in, really felt excited, really felt like I was going to do well. By the halftime, it came in, you fill up
Change
gas.
drivers?
No driver. Just
fill up with gas.
Fill up with gas when I went back out. I'm driving down the back, and feeling really good about my performance. The car isn't slow, and I'm not a bad driver. At the time, I wasn't Cone King, but you still have a development, not bad. And then I come through the back chicane now, coming up to corner 10, so through 8 and 9, chop chop. When I brake for corner 10, which if you know Dover is it's a downhill off Camber corner, I see a wheel go woof and past me. I'm like, which idiot is that? So I go into the down my left side, under braking, it hits the carb cement wall and bounces back and passes me. It's not until my car settles that I realize it's mine.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so that put paid to that.
The race was over.
Yeah, so I said, you know what, maybe circuit racing. Circuit racing is fun, but I find it it's too repetitive. So I said, let me do what I really want to do, which is rallying.
Right.
So how long did you circuit race for? Or that was just a very
couple
short
events.
Okay. And then you left straight to rally.
And you wanted to rally. That was like, because you just said you were doing a little bit of dexterity stuff on the side too, I guess.
Yeah, so
I guess learning the car itself.
Yeah,
right?
Dexterity is rally sport, and rally sport is thing. And after a while, I stopped using the 206 and ended up using my girlfriend at the time, her Hyundai accent, or 96 Hyundai accent.
Fair enough.
Honey, I'm going to the event.
We used to have a few of those here too.
In your car.
Then it comes back on Monday morning. I'm like, I need tires. you need to buy tires for your car, man. Yeah, so that was the usual Sunday, cop off, go and do that. But then coming out of that, which is a great bit, is prepare the car for a rally, and went to the rally and literally heading to the first stage. I had a mechanical problem. Don't know why. I missed signing, and I say, let me just not race it. There's a sign for everything. So going now to spectate on stage 1, which is now for stage 3, because obviously I missed it. So when I come back around to the second loop, and going on the stage, just driving easy. And if you know the Peugeots, the throttle without the spring goes full throttle. It doesn't back off. The throttle just went locked straight, and I found myself second gear or third gear coming into a corner dead. I had to reach for kill switch, blah blah blah, shut off the car.
Oh shit!
No, nothing. So there's a reason. God is a good God. God made sure I didn't make the start, so that I didn't do that.
That
Which
could have
point
been
a lot worse.
Yeah. And I came into a corner full. It's one of those you'd have to be there to see it, but
okay.
Shite and pants may have come together.
Fair enough. So, we've all been there before.
Yeah, for sure.
So coming out of that, the next event now was the Tech Marine Rally, and I decided I'm not entering. I'm going to make it the next year. So this was 97. So I would do, this is 98, whichever year, too long ago. So I went and I'm now spectating with my still girlfriend at the time. I have her Hyundai up there. And I end up seeing Jeffrey Panton's uncle, Desmond Panton. He runs Key Motors, the dealership. And we're there the whole night, because we're spectating the whole night together. And I say, the truth is, that little Hyundai ain't bad, I would love to rally one of those. He says, come talk to me on Monday. So I went and spoke to him. We worked out a deal where I paid for the car over time. He was really good to me. And
what was it?
It's a Hyundai Accent GT. 1.5 liters. So we did a lot of work to it. So we fit suspension, we fitted a sump guard. That's about it. Like a lot of work. I went rallying, But what that car taught me was how to drive. I had the 205s are a quick little car. Those are hot hatches. Kid you now, we tuned the Hyundai. We found a way to tune it. Hyundai, it's the same Mitsubishi platform, but Hyundai had whole heap of little electronics in there. You could turn a screw, change the fuel, turn a screw, change the timing. It was really a cool little car. So we spent about 3-4 hours on the dyno. Made about gains of 7 to 10 horsepower across the whole thing. By the time we were done, that 1.5 liter was kicking out a whopping 71 brake horsepower. Oh man, the whiplash after that. When I went on the gas, it was like, oh, my neck.
But it's a good way to
So
start.
that's the lesson. That is a lesson. If you want to drive well,
Yeah, start small.
find a car that has no option at all of being fast.
Yeah.
It's not even, you can't even ask for it to be fast.
Yeah.
And learn not to slow down. So what we ended up with that car was every time you backed off the gas, you've lost a minute. That was kind of like your mental thing. So you learn,
Keep your foot planted.
keep your foot planted. If you want to slow down, use the brake.
Right.
Just so you don't come off the gas. 'Cause you may come off one time too many and lose another minute. It really didn't get back up to speed at all. So, yeah. So that was, I would say, my training ground, my rail training ground.
You know how many rallies you ended up doing with that?
Did from 98 to Rally Jamaica, finished third in class, to probably about 3 years, 3 years.
Okay.
Did you get a
3 years.
different car after that and continue rallying, or you know what kind of happened after the Hyundai?
So I am one of them blessed people. I've been properly sponsored and supported. When I say properly, not with great equipment, but with good sponsorship that has allowed me to do a lot and to always be driving. So I left Hyundai and I started managing the Peugeot dealership. And coming out in the end of 2000, middle of 2000, or whenever it was, again, years and stuff. 2002, we decided I'm going to take a Peugeot 206 GTI now, straight from the bond store, put a cage in it, and go racing. Ordered the suspension, did all of that. Suspension arrived the Monday after Rally Jamaica. So that was toast.
Oh, shit.
Myself and a friend of mine, Daniel Yap, ended up, he ran a cool little guy, great guy. And he decided he's going to come and co-drive for me. I still don't know how co-drivers do it. They're the dumbest people in the world.
Yeah. Well,
They're going to sit down beside a guy like me.
pretty sure Jeremy's done it.
Remember I just told you, keep your right foot planted and try slow down with the left. And you're going to come and drive with me? Oh, you know what? Welcome. So we ended up doing that, ran the car stock. And again, everything happens for a reason. Came over, not doing too badly. I think we're, again, 4th or 5th in class. And the classes back then used to have like 10 people. It was 10, 15 people in the class. So I wasn't doing too badly, but came over, the water splash stage in Jamaica.
Yeah.
So when we were ending the water splash stage, running where you're going into the water splash from the right. So, which is effectively the reverse. At the end of that stage, there was a stone, a big stone. And we went over it, boom, and pushed the sump guard onto the sump.
Right.
So we actually put it in the notes. Rock, keep left.
Right.
So the idiot behind the wheel, that jackass behind the wheel, came around it the next round, heard the co-driver say, rock, keep left. And I was like, is it that rock?
And then
Wow, straight over it again. Because
why not? That's what you do.
he didn't point. I blame him. Co-driver's always wrong.
Blame it on the co-driver.
Yeah, he didn't point. He just said keep left. I'm like, which left? So now it's an aluminum sump and the whole thing is shattered. And shattered beyond shattered. So now we end up back in service. And I see a black 206 driving up. And I send my crew out to stop him. Right behind him is my parents. So I go and tell my parents, block him. And we literally took his car, guy named Wayne Piper. We took his car. He went, finished watching the rally with my parents. His car went back in on a wrecker without the sump because we then just stripped his car
it.
and
Put it on yours and kept rallying.
Only in Jamaica you could get away with that, right?
But
What did you promise him?
Free service for the year.
He became my co-driver since then.
Right, interesting. There you
We've
go.
won Rally Jamaica twice together. We've won overall two-wheel drive. We've won, this is now Wayne Piper, the guy with the black car. We've won our class about 3 or 4 times. We've won national championships together. We've Rally Champion, team championships, everything we've won. So, I think he got a pretty good deal
A
out
match
of.
made.
Yeah. He got to drive around watching Rally Jamaica in a trooper with my parents. Plus, he gets a few championships. No,
Yeah.
I mentioned him to say the other side of racing, and the other side of it is, so you get a slow car and you see what you can do in a slow car. But you also need good people around you.
Yeah.
And between Daniel, Jimmy Horn, who really were my first two, in Jimmy, then Daniel. When Wayne came in, it was a real good learning experience. We would literally 1-2 days a week for about 3 weeks before, 3 nights a week, 3 before every event. We'd go out into the hills and we'd actually practice. We'd write notes and then call notes. Again, that was a long time ago, police. So you can't really do anything about it. No,
I'm sure a lot of people still do that. So
and we were doing it in the race car. So and it was loud. It was a healthy car. So it's not just the people who you have. You have your sponsors who take care of you. You have your people around you, your crew that really make sure you work. And So my learning experience came up with good people. And then by the time I got into the auxiliary types of sponsors, yes, I got the dealerships, but the most expensive recurring cost for people is tires. So I went, spoke to Tires R Us, asked them if I can get a set of tires. This is back in the Hyundai days. And I used to actually race rallies, everything, dirt, mud, you name it, on federal road tires. And win. Now, win. When I say win, I mean I wasn't last. Understand, sometimes you win by not coming last. If the vehicle is supposed to be last and you don't come last, it's a win. It's and you celebrate the little things. So when the big things come, you're accustomed to celebrating. But tires, up to the point where I left, between Tires R Us, which then their parent company, Tire Warehouse, took me on and sponsored with everything I did, whether it was racing, organizing, you name it. They supported me for all those years. So I can say from 97, 98, straight up to 2014 when I left Jamaica, I had support from them,
Yeah.
So you rallied the whole time until you left Jamaica, or you
rallied, raced, organized, you name
anything.
it. So
just you were involved.
In 2002, we took the stock car. 2003, I told my wife at the beginning, honey, I'm going to go for the national championship. She laughed. She knew what happened in 2012 when the car was just when we had to hijack Wayne. Long story short, we won the national championship in 2013. 2003.
Yeah, I got you covered. 2003.
Years. Yeah. 2003, we won the National Drivers' Championship. We won the two-wheel drive Rally Championship, second in the overall Rally Championship, Sprint Championship. And then, but in the last event for that year, Peter Moody told Gary Gregg, don't drive your Evo, come down and drive the fastest two-wheel drive in Jamaica. Go to the event and you can beat Teach. I was like, okay, that sounds like a good thing. And that was a year when Eminem's Lose Yourself came out. You only get one chance.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
what was it? What was the car?
He was driving a Mitsubishi Mavic,
right,
with about 10 times the cost of the car invested in the car. My car at the time was a Peugeot 206, and everything in the car came off of a Peugeot 309 rally car that I bought from Ian Gibson.
Okay.
So we're talking real old stuff, things that really don't really fit the car, I'm pretend rich. My cars always look pretty, but the stuff underneath the bits is pretty much stock. However it came, that's how we leave it.
Okay.
So he came to the event. This was now out in Moorlands in Montego Bay, just outside Mobay, and I just turned up that day. Beat him, beat Peter, broke a 7-year track record on that day. And that is when, you realize that all the years that you're doing stuff, when you start to really put it together, when it's your day to click, it's your day to click.
Do you have any idea what happened? I mean, it just, you vibe with the car, and did you get a chance to use the car prior?
3 years before that, Christopher Shim shared my Hyundai Accent GT 71 horsepower. Remember how much horsepower?
I remember, yeah.
71. Feel it. So Chris Shim shared my car at that same course and beat me by just over a second. I did a 2-minute flat 0.38. He did a 1:59 point low, like almost flat. In my own car. After the event, he said to me, he said, Teach. He used to call me Prof back then. My nickname was Prof back then. Prof, you sit up there? I said, what? Because I vex. You want to know why I beat you? I said, what? Because I vex. He said, you see the bus? I said, yeah. You see my Swift? I said, yeah. He says, I beat you because you drove your car here and I could drive that home. So every time you came into a corner, in the back of your mind, yeah, let me just go 99%. He told me I drove well. He just drove like he didn't care.
Yeah.
We call it not mine syndrome.
Yeah. And you can just turn that up for me?
Yeah.
A little cool.
You want to put it up?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Reason.
no
but
problem.
yeah, so you asked what happened in 2003? Chris beat me at that same venue because I cared. When I came that day, I was either going to Gary and I were I was slightly ahead of him, like 10 points ahead of him in the thing, and our points were 150, 110, 150, 130, 110, 90. So you want to win. And the next event was Rally Jamaica. So the next event would be the decider. So whoever came out on top would win, which is why he came down to the 2-wheel drive class to beat me, to then go into Rally Jamaica with a lead. And then because Peter Moody was there, he would now get to go in. Instead of a 10-point lead, he'd get another 20 points, and that's so it'd be a 30-point lead. And knowing that I would most likely do very well in Rally Jamaica, it was a really good plan of theirs.
Okay.
But I remembered Chris Shim. I remembered him telling me, drive it like you don't care. I remember him telling me, like yesterday, I can hear him. And you know what? I would have carried you home too. In other words, I would not have been stranded at the track.
Yeah.
So I drove that car to write it off. I was either going to be a hero or a zero. And you need those days. Again, it's the little things, you know, and when you start to go back and you're remembering how you got where you are, it's the little things that make a huge difference. And that's one of the things that just Chris beating me was a big deal. And so you needed to dig deep. I dug deep, and I remembered stuff like that. I remembered same Uncle Lloyd that I told you about, Lloyd Washington, pro racer. Go to Florida. You know, this is when I was Air Jamaica days. I rented a Dodge Neon. Remember the Dodge Neons?
Yes.
Sporty little car, handle like crap, really crappy cars. But hey, they're the
Dodge Neon.
They're the hot, the hot hatch of the US, right?
Yeah.
And so myself, 2 friends, every morning we go out and we go and get IHOP. But one morning we're going out to get IHOP, and my uncle says, you know, let's drive your car. I want to go down, and my car is full. I want to go down and pick up a gun. He was an exotic gun dealer as well. So he wanted to go down and pick up a gun and go and drop it off. So pick up the gun.
Only in America.
I know,
Pick up the gun, drop it off, and now we're heading back up. So we're up 95, and you know, you have the exit ramp, and it comes back around, and then you have a quarter mile down to the stoplight. But so it's one of those that with a nice loop. And we're driving up, and I look over, and I see like 80 miles per hour. I'm like, Uncle Lloyd, remember yesterday when we were talking, and I told you the car is crap? He said, yep. I said, that's our exit. Nothing. Silence. I said, remember I told you the car handles bad? Silence. Speed is still 80. I'm like, well,
Here we go.
Happy, sorry.
The old shit bar.
Bullshit bar.
Yeah.
Here, my 2 friends in the back. Who was the other one? Just riding on. Anyway, my 2 friends in the back. They just hold on to it because they know it's about to go down. We literally went around the corner as if it was nothing. And then we have that red light down at the stoplight. You know, it's a long light, so he slows down early and he's just cruising down. And he cruises to a slow stop, right-hand drive car. So he looks over to the left and he goes, maybe it's not the car.
Fair enough.
Maybe it's not the...
Yeah.
Lessons like that, and the ones from Chris, is if the car can do it, sorry, if you can't do it, don't blame the equipment.
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
it's not the equipment.
Yeah.
Give somebody else your vehicle. Allow people to drive. See what other people can do in
do
your
with
own
it.
machine and learn from it. And
Yeah.
Great.
yeah,
Okay.
so that was how I dug there. I'll stop the history here. 2004, going back for the championship, leading even by a more healthy lead. Blew a tire, cut the electrics. This was when rally rules were that you can't get outside help.
Yeah.
I didn't
Right.
run with a spare. We were going for every advantage, and spare was
Yeah, it
was
weight.
weight.
Weight, yeah.
And I decided, you know what?
Done.
I can call my crew and get them to come and give me the thing. We'd have won and we'd end up winning the championship, but it would have been a hollow thing. So we actually retired from that event.
Okay.
And then 2005, I wrote off the car.
Obviously, you came to Barbados, I think you told me 6 years ago.
2014.
2014, March 2014, I arrived there.
Okay. Obviously for work reasons, but obviously you had an itch to drive. So how did you get involved in autocross from the beginning at that point? Or walk me through that story.
So Jeffrey Goddard and I are friends. So when Jeffrey used to come to Jamaica to run Rally Jamaica, he would actually stay. I think the last 2 years he stayed by me. When I think he was coming with Harold Morley at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so he would come and he would actually stay with me. So when it came, obviously we connected, and he was putting on an event, and I didn't make it to the ones he had, but the last one I say not in 2014. I'll come and I'm just coming to watch. At the end of it, he said, "Go and drive the course." I had just bought David Simpson's Evolute, the 10.
This is the same one you have now?
Same one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They have a
I
type.
didn't realize that was his one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been like it's like a third or fourth color.
It's
Keep
wrapped or
changing
paint?
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Again, the money is better spent on a car than in the bank. Come on. So, Debbie, that's a joke. It really is a joke.
Okay.
Until the Bima Cup. What?
We'll get there, don't worry.
So I bought the car and I says, so okay, let me see what the car can do. And then he said, you need to come and do the next year. Omar Badu had just wrapped up his 4th championship that year.
He drives a WRX, right?
He drives WRX, and I think he had wrapped it up in a Suzuki Swift though.
Oh, okay.
So the older Swift, the old GTIs. Really good driver. So I said, yeah, I'll come and double. I'll see what next year goes. But yeah, I'll definitely come. After the first event, hooked. Jeffrey puts on a really good show. It's a really good setup. Bunch of guys in there, and you know what?
Some girls too? I saw some
And
girls
some
this
girls,
weekend.
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, how has it, because obviously this is your 6th championship. How has it changed over the years?
Oh yeah.
Like, how could you describe for the listeners what sort of things have changed?
So as good as it was back in 2014 and in 2015, it was still real grassroots, like not even real grassroots. It was still niche grassroots. We had 12, 15 competitors at most. And I used to run dexterity events, which is similar to your autocross here. It's actually similar rules, same rules, everything. But we call them dexterities. And I was 2006, 7, whenever it was, 2006 when I ran the championship, we averaged 61 competitors for the entire year. 5 events. We had our least event was 50 little bit. The weekend after Hurricane Ivan. So just showing you how that ended up. So coming here and seeing 12, I was like, this is the motorsport capital of the Caribbean. I mean, there's
more people.
We travel to Barbados to watch your motorsports. We Jamaicans, it's something. Rally Jamaica.
Yeah.
We will load a plane and come down. Grace Chinloy will take care. She's rally mommy. She'll take care of all of us and make sure that we're all booked. We're all coming down. We're all spending time together watching your rallying. So if that's the case, I can't come here and have 12, 14 people. So worked with, apart from just racing, worked with Jeffrey to really create, Jeffrey Goddard to really create some new opportunities, bring more people in. And I started actually sponsoring the series quietly in the first, and I would pay for the rookies. I would say, you know what, anybody bringing people new, their entry fees
waived for the...
No, it's free.
Oh, okay,
but
sorry.
it actually wasn't free. Somebody was paying for it. But you wanted the numbers to go up. So we got the numbers now. Instead of having a good event with 15 now became a bad event, kind of the amount of numbers.
Right.
And then the last couple of years at Vaucluse, Jeffrey Olliott. Now, I became friends with Jeffrey through our kids playing football. But Jeffrey's the reason why I fell in love with motorsports in Barbados. Jeffrey T10 is the reason I traveled
it's iconic.
3 years to watch Rally Barbados. T10 is the reason. Let me tell you how we used to do it, the Jamaicans. We would watch our guys at the front, watch the faster two-wheel drive guys, go get beverages in whatever John Ralston's big machineries that he would bring at the back. And then the moment the back of the field is coming around, and you hear a skateboard come in, T10 come in, and Tito's T10 and Jonesy. Yeah. We're like, you know what? We need to get back out there and spectate now. And action. So it was the top guys and
then you had some
Jeffrey
entertainment, action.
So I effectively met one of my heroes through my son. And then we became friends, and then we don't mind beating or being beaten by each other. So we started sharing cars. He drove my Evo, I drove his BMW. But throughout all of that, because we also wanted to see it grow, Jeffrey and I spent a lot of time working on some of the behind-the-scenes things with Jeffrey Goddard, Jason Downey, Richard Hinkson at the time. Richard.
So there's a regulatory committee behind, because I know it's part of BRC, right?
It's a part of BRC. So what we would do is that we would work with Jeffrey, and then Jeffrey, once Jeffrey's okay with where we're going, we'll all vet it out and make sure that it is the right direction. And Jeffrey would then go to the BRC and ask for whatever things that he needs. Out of that, we got some rule changes. First timers, again, now became officially free. The BRC took that under them to do. So that was a really good welcome. I believe that was 2018 that started.
But plus you guys get to use all the BRC's timing equipment and stuff, which helps, right?
So, fun fact, because of Jeffrey Olliott, we went to electronic timing. Yeah. Because of Jeffrey Goddard, we went to electronic timing. So the two Jeffs made the electronic timing come in. Jeffrey Goddard would time with his hand. But because times weren't as, the competitive nature wasn't so close back then, it was difficult. It was things. So at the end of one event, I believe it was 2017, the last event of 2017, Jeffrey Olliott beat me. When I went back and looked at beat me for the first time. When I went back and looked at the footage, he didn't beat me. It was Jeffrey Goddard making a mistake with the hand timing. Every other stopwatch and video sync was spot on. It was the only one was Jeffrey's. And you could see it was just, the thing went go, and
there was a delay.
You could actually see it. Yeah. So I brought evidence to him, and I said, we need to go to electronic timing. And that's when Jason Downey then said, you know what? Let me see if we can work with the club and get their equipment. And that brought electronic timing. Yeah. And we're still talking milliseconds, But when you have my competitive nature, I want to lose legitimately more than I want to win illegitimately. I prefer to lose. I race the clock. You beat me. Whatever it is. So that was the electronic equipment came in then. And then we also had some other changes that came up through the competition. But then that started to drive other people to actually be more competitive, because now they could legitimately say, I was only 0.6 of a second behind you. Yeah. I remember where I made the mistake. So now we started to do training sessions. So we actually have hosted probably 7 or 8 or 9 over the years, training sessions with rookies, veterans, you name it. Whether I'm hosting it, myself and Jeffrey, The last one we did earlier this year, just before the first event, was at Bushy Park with the top 4 people in the championship from last year hosting the thing. So everybody else, so you are now, it wasn't just me or Jeffrey, it was
a group of
Yeah,
it was a group of us. So.
Well, I want to get into this past weekend because Chris was very kind enough to invite Jeremy and myself, although I didn't go.
James was unable to attend.
And then the only reason I didn't go, right, and I'm going to put this on record.
It's because you're full of shit?
No.
Oh.
Chris Hode, who's listening to this, got me blind drunk Saturday night, where your wife was, by the way, at a wedding.
Yeah, but she's responsible.
Yeah. So I would have been arrested had I gone in a car that morning, pretty much.
Well done, Chris.
Yeah.
we need to we'll have to set up again for you to come and
For sure.
to come and have a play.
For sure.
It was as I told you on Sunday when I was there, and I'll thank you again now because I did have.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that knows me, he can attest to this too. Like any opportunity to drive anything, whether it's a Bobcat or a Swift Sport, I don't care. I like to drive.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy it. And so yeah, I will thank you again for inviting us out because I did have a blast.
How was the Swift?
The Swift is interesting.
Tell me.
I've driven.
I need more,
So
I need more information.
that was the first time I was driving one of those Swift Cup cars. I had obviously seen them being driven before, but first time behind the wheel. Luckily, it's nothing. The Swifts aren't fast, right? So it's not like you're getting into something that's difficult to handle.
What's the gearing ratio like? Or like
It's
the gearing?
pretty short. Like for the course, you're using like second and third for the most part. I think because there were a few other people who had also rented Swifts, they kind of so there's one Swift that Bushy Park has that has a hydraulic handbrake, and all the others are just kind of normal handbrake, right? Yeah. So because there were a bunch of others using the Swift Sports as well, we just ought to kind of keep the field level. We just all use the ones that had the normal handbrake. No hydraulic, because there's only one car that has hydraulic.
Right.
All the rest are normal handbrake. So we just got a bunch that just had the normal handbrake. And I figured out quite quickly when I was, because before the event started, you've never been, but they set up a portion of the track where you can like test and warm up basically, and just go and play for a little bit before you have to go and run the course.
Right.
So obviously, as soon as I got out onto the track, I kind of parked in the bit, chatted with Chris, chatted with Andrew and his son that were there as well, and a few others. And then I said, I better go and drive this car before I have to go and take it on the track. So I did, and I figured out quite quickly. I was like, well, this handbrake is fucking useless because it just does not work.
Really?
Well, so eventually the trick is I had to be on the brake to get the back wheels to lock up. But there was a fine line because sometimes it, like not enough brake pressure and it's not going to lock, and too much it then lost the front wheels. So it was a very fine line. I'm not making excuses. That kind of took a bit to figure out. And I told Chris after, like, despite that, I had a blast, right? I mean, it was just a lot of fun. And I think the Swift is actually a good intro to autocross because it's quite slow, has a lot of grip, and it's very forgiving. So for somebody who doesn't drive a lot and just wants to come and experience it, I think it's perfect because you can pretty much get away with anything. And if it does go wrong, you're not going that fast.
Right.
So it's not going to be...
In his defense, he was the fastest of the Swift drivers for the day. In his defense,
I'm not sure what that means.
And he only did 3 runs, not the full 6 that everybody else
and
did.
Chris, I can get the footage so that we can overlay that.
Yes.
So that I can do voiceover.
Yeah, you can
cut the tape.
Good.
I will say though, I think I had a blast, and I wish I did get the opportunity to do more runs. My first run, I got a DNF because I arrived at a tight section of cones and just got a bit disoriented, and I thought that the previous car had knocked down a cone, so I just missed the pointer and went basically around the wrong direction and got a DNF. But managed to use my head after that and tied it together.
How many runs
fun.
did you take?
I did 3.
He did 4 actually.
I did 4.
Yeah, he was a passenger in one.
Oh yes, I went for 1 run with him.
Right.
In the Evo, which was, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I drove the Swift for 3 runs. Yeah. But it was a lot of fun.
And he did really well. The competition this week is literally, if you were a second faster or slower than you are, you could have made up 2-3 positions in and around that midfield. Mm-hmm. 6 seconds separated, like 6th, 5th or 6th to like 20th. Mm-hmm. It was that close, where only a few seconds would make a big difference in how you finish overall.
Okay.
So
I think the other cool thing I learned, for those who listening and just want an opportunity to get into any motorsport, the nice thing with Autocross is you can turn up in whatever you drive. It doesn't even matter. You could come in your Navara, in theory, and drive Autocross. That's the nice part.
Actually, no, the Navara, there's actually a rule.
Okay, sorry, no trucks.
SUVs.
Okay. Any car, any car or sedan. Like they had someone competing in a Hyundai Iconic, which is like the Hyundai's hybrid car.
Yeah.
You know, so you can come and just drive.
Just drive.
You know, you don't need to come in an Evo or an R5. You know, you can come in a Hyundai Iconic or a Prius or.
Those are fun though.
No, I know, but I mean, if you don't have one, I think that was cool to kind of see.
Side note, you got to go in the R5, right?
I did. I didn't do a run of the autocross track, but before the event started, Andrew took me for a drive out in the like warm up practice section, and that was sick.
I didn't get that.
You gotta ask him next time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask.
I won't bang on too much about the R5, but I will tell you, despite people's opinions of them from the outside, they are an absolute weapon on the inside. When you're inside the car and you feel it, I mean, it is like a big floppy go-kart. It is like, that's what it feels like. It feels like a big floppy, and I mean that in a good way.
Just
in other words,
you can point it where
it's
you
not.
want.
That's interesting.
Yeah, like in other words, you can point the car and it's very balanced and like it just feels, it's very, very responsive. But it's also, because it's set up for rallying and not the track, it's also very soft. So you can feel the car pitch, and anytime you throw, and you can see in the video, like it was cocking up a back wheel, and Adam and Andrew were going around certain corners, and but just so sick. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Good. Which leads us on to Chris, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
6 titles in a row. I see the license plate. 6 Love.
6 Love.
6 Love.
Six
Corn King.
Love. Corn King. King.
Cone King is on the back. Yeah.
Yeah, so it ran the whole day with Cone King, and then
Six Love.
when it was official, it
There
changed.
you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about your runs and how it felt, and you know, has your driving style changed over the past few seasons doing this?
So let's start with the last question first. The more you do anything, you naturally develop.
Yeah.
But you also need to be very conscious about how you want to develop. So I videotape everything. I film everything. And not so I can share it, even though I do a lot of sharing of whatever it is. But it's so that I can go back and learn. And you don't really know how well you're doing until you see yourself do it. And because I teach the sport, I do all that, I understand what I'm looking at very quickly. And I do a lot of crap over time. So it's just now trying to fine tune the crap you're doing, you know. Do a little less crap next time. Go a little bit harder. Be a little more intelligent with how you think. Be a little smoother. Use a little less left foot braking. Use more left foot braking. So it's now just kind of fine tuning. So yeah, I have developed as a driver. As good as anyone is, you can always get better, no matter how good you are.
I think it helps too having that much time in the same car.
It does, but the truth is, 2019 and 2018 were my biggest years of having to get it right. Because I'm sharing cars with Jeffrey Elliott. And it's a simple thing. Come back to what Uncle Lloyd said. Maybe it's not the car. You know, if you lose or you win, maybe it's not the car. And when you're separated by half a second at most on a bad day. The difference is who coughs, who blinked, who touched the brake a meter too late. So you start to go precise. But coming into this event, it was very important that I finished because I needed the championship. But the way the points are is that whichever class you score the most points in, that goes to your overall. So the idea was up to Thursday morning, come skateboat when I'm on the street tires, just have a blast. Don't worry about time. Put on the race tires, and then go for that class win. Then Thursday afternoon, Jeffrey Goddard called and said, I have news for you. Andrew and Adam running the R5. I'm like, okay, well, there goes my night. So I had to go and, you do a little work, you strip out the car and make it lighter. But the plan changed. You used it. Everything behind
no back seats. Everything was gone.
Yeah, man, gutted.
Everything was gone.
And the Tuesday before that, this is the first time, the sound on the Evo that you heard. The exhaust.
Yeah.
I actually took it to Stuart Naggs and said, Stuart, it's my last event I'm doing in the Evo. Do me a favor. Cut off the muffler. Just cut it off. Anyway, he runs a professional muffler shop. She actually didn't cut it off. He put on a whole straight pipe, and it sounded and felt very good. But I was literally willing just to cut it off so I could actually hear the car for once in my life. Because the car really is stock engine, stock everything.
I know them all, yeah.
Yeah, but that also dropped a whole lot of weight. Because he was going to one small pipe versus a whole double twin tip pan and everything. So the car felt even better than it should have because that weight was gone. But thinking now, I said, I still have a championship to go for. What do I do? So this is why I said I'll carry you on the second run and not the first run. Mm-hmm. The first run was to go out on the street tires and put down a time that no matter what happened, nobody else on street tires could beat it. Coming into this event, it was about perfection. Mm-hmm. I knew that to win the championship comfortably, I needed to be perfect in that first run, at least bank the points. So after the first run, I knew it was done as already champ. I could now carry Jeremy for the second run, which he can talk about it.
Yeah, no, I will tell you, it was. I mean, I've been in Evos before, so I kind of speed-wise, I figured what to expect. But it is, it's the SST. But it, the first thing that I didn't realize is I didn't know his car was stock. I didn't think it was like tuned up fast, but I thought you had coilovers on it.
No, it has coilover and brakes, but that's it.
Right. Okay. Well, fair enough. And then you have that like handbrake extension.
Yeah,
thing.
it's called a happy stick.
The happy stick.
It's actually in the video.
Yeah. So he just has like this extension, and so you can like pull the handbrake a lot easier. Anyway, but it was sweet to like get in the car and feel it, because I watched him do his first run, and it's always different. I mean, and this is anything. This applies to any motorsport. When you watch it from the outside versus when you're inside the car, it's two very different things. Mm-hmm. And usually when things look fast from the outside, it's like 10 times faster when you're inside the car. Yeah. So I was impressed with how much speed he was able to carry, because although from the outside it doesn't look that fast, but when we were going through the back up the back straight, like the slalom between all the cones, I was just surprised at how much speed him and the Evo were able to carry. And that's what I noticed the most. The second thing was how well the car would spin around. I mean, he would yank the shit out the handbrake, but the car spun around so well. Yeah. And I mean, it's clear, obviously, that you have, like, you were just, with the Evo, for sure, you were just one with that car. I mean, you know exactly what that car is going to do when you give it this throttle input or this brake input, or when you pull the handbrake. It's clear that you know what's going to happen. And it was just really, and it was helpful for me then, obviously, to go back out in my third run. Unfortunately, I hit a cone. But after running with you, it was helpful, because it was just nice to see somebody who has such a good understanding of autocross and how to get through an autocross circuit or layout quickly. And you gave me obviously a lot of great tips and stuff. But I mean, look, man, you're going to ride along in anything, sign me up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sign me up. It was cool, really cool.
But then now realizing after that holy crap, now the real deal starts. I did a 116 in the first run. I carried his fat ass in the car the second time and did a 116. It was a 116.40 first run. Picked up some weight and did a 116.42. which means,
Yeah.
the gym is
Sorry.
working out. It's not that bad.
Slightly slower.
But Adam, on his second run, went out and set a 111 something. Didn't really matter. It was a 111.
Wow.
That's 5 seconds difference.
Adam, he hasn't driven that much. Has
So
he?
that was
but he was faster than his dad.
He was fast.
Like
so
he
just had a good. He had a good run, and look, Adam can drive, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, he's done incredibly well at go karting, and he understands how to drive a car.
It scared,
Obviously,
it scared the crap out of me to see that time. Literally, I came out and I said to Avinash, Vikram, Gabadan, that I think normally it's a 3-4 seconds max separation between street tires and road tires up there.
Race tires.
Street tires and race tires.
Yeah.
But I realized, again, dun, 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 some Eminem playing in my back. You only get one chance, lose yourself in the music. In the moment you want it, you better never let it go. You only get one. So that started to play in my head, and I'm like, when else will I get to skateboard at a physical race against an R5? I don't have R5 money. And the R5 showed up in my playground. I have one chance to at least come close. I said to Andrew, that 110 is amazing. That 111 is amazing. He went out in his third run now, before I went out on my third run. He then did a 112, so you're talking 111, 112, 116.
Right.
So I said, if I could just match Andrew's time,
Right.
I'd be happy knowing that they should get faster too. I went into that run and I said, you know what? I'm not hitting any cones. This is going to be like that first run. I'm going in with the same mentality. Nothing is going to be overdone, but nothing is going to be underdone. The car will not go sideways unless I put it sideways. It will not go 2 feet more on the cock out than I want it to go. It's going to be absolute perfection. And that was a 1 minute 10.5 run. It blew my mind. But at the end of the run, sometimes
You knew you were beating it?
I knew it was an amazing time. I didn't know I'd beaten it. And once I pulled up to the line, I was in the car. I was applauding. I think I videoed that. I was clapping myself. I was praising myself.
Can we
flipping good.
Can we overlay the footage
Yeah.
of Chris's third run?
Yeah.
Over
He
there
has
so we
it.
can see
He
it?
has it.
And that, but I knew it was a good run. Now, Andrew had previously said that, they need to leave early because they had another family function. So I wanted to do whatever I could do while they're there. Because if you beat the time after they leave, it's not fair. Again, same thing, you want to win, you want to lose when you have equity. So if they're leaving on run number 3 and I'm now doing my first run and they're going to leave, this needs to be the run I'm going to at least have to see how close I can get. Because if I end up on run 6, having the fastest time,
Yeah, but they're not there.
and they're not there, means they should have also gotten faster. Andrew went and decided, you know what, well, whoever we're going to see can wait. Let's go get fuel. He refueled the car and they were going to finish the day. And on Adam's 5th run, something on the car, I don't know if it broke or he felt something, but he checked out and they decided to call it a day. And that probably would have been a quicker run. And I have some comparison videos that you can overlay if you want and all that. But at the end of the day, it felt to me like that moment when Gary Gregg came down and ran in the class. In this case, I now got to go against the car that legitimately won a few stages of Rally Barbados, legitimately came 4th in Rally Barbados. The driver of that car, Andrew Malalou, drove. We were very impressed with him on Rally Barbados.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Super impressed with him.
Yeah.
I think it's the best he has ever driven.
For sure.
I was having a conversation with Jeffrey, his Goddard, his co-driver. And Jeffrey said, yeah, he's
different.
He's like one with the car. He has become like it's an extension of him more so than when he had a Subaru.
Yeah, for sure.
So
For sure.
Well, again, congratulations. It's a big victory for you. So I wanted to ask you, on the tail end of this, of what your plans are. Are you going to continue to autocross? Why not? Why do you get into rally? A lot of Beamer Cup boys want to call you out and get you driving up there.
I mean, I will say this, and I hold no fear of being as honest as I normally am.
Of course, well, that's all we ask for.
The Beamer Cup guys have been absolutely disrespectful over the years, and I'm not talking nicely so. The Cone King thing came up with one of them decided they're going to call me Cone King, think it was disrespectful. I'm Jamaican. Screw that.
You run with it.
As long as they not tell me about my mother, I'm good. I'm just going to run with it. I'm going to take it, make fashion. So I have this whole Cone King thing now. It finishes now. It won't, after this week, you will never see the Cone King again.
So you're doing it sarcastically?
I didn't know.
Yes.
Okay.
This Cone King is very sarcastic.
No, but I think Chris, honestly, I think there's a lot of people out there, whether it's BMW, and I don't know. We don't have to call names. I don't know who you're speaking about specifically.
Let me finish. Let me finish the BMW point just for a second.
Yeah.
So they've been calling me out for the last 2 years. Boy, you and this winning of this cone racing thing is crap. All you're doing is proving you can beat rookies. So, took up myself, rented a car in Antigua, fresh. Think it's fair. My first time driving a Beamer Cup car. They've driven in Antigua before, their Beamer Cup cars, once or twice. I show up, and the only person who could even come close to me was Wee Wee and Spencer Hutchinson. And more so, and this is the other thing, the rest of them who have all the mouth, I didn't even care about where they were. They were so far behind. So it may sound bad.
Shots fired.
No, it may sound bad, but when you're going to call somebody out, don't look stupid. To answer your question, I am going to be doing the Caribbean Beamer Cup Championship. I'm currently 5th. The truth is, Jeffrey Olliott came with me. Again, I don't know anything about it. I begged him, I said, boss, I don't know about rear-wheel drive. Please come with me.
Right.
Dude, I don't even know which way the back wheels turn when you're talking rear-wheel drive, whether they go sideways or whatever. So he came to help me fix and tune whichever car I was going to get to drive. When he landed, Richard Fletcher said, but hold on, you bring T10 to Antigua to turn spanner? No. Here's my daughter's car. So he got a car to drive. Oh, shit. And he ended up coming. I got hit out in the quarterfinals by Tom Hellier, the owner for the track and the fastest guy in Antigua. I got hit out in the quarterfinals, totally dismissed. I had a hell of a run. I felt great. When I finished, I'm like, wow, this is good. The man beat me by 4 seconds. And I had one of them moments I'm in the car cheering. I'm just pointing that out. But he gave me 4 seconds. He then ends up with Jeffrey in the finals. So my mechanic made it to the finals.
Right.
So again, it's that kind of thing, when you're ready to... What I think the Beamer Cup guys should be doing is inviting people to just come and have fun and dropping the disrespectful thing. Because it really is a turn off at the end of the day. I want to do it. I would do it. I've tried to do it twice. Okay. The car has been taken from me twice for whatever reason. Antigua is just good. So I will do the Caribbean Championship next year. I don't think I'm going to do the Autocross. I think 6 is enough.
Okay. But let me ask you a question. I think, and I'm glad you brought this up about the Cone King, because I think there's definitely perceptions out there, and I've seen you be part of conversations or the center of conversations on Facebook in the motorsport community here, because I know that you've had run-ins with people from rallying and apparently these Beamer Cup guys or whatever being called out for lots of different things. So, and you said obviously you've taken on this Cone King thing sarcastically because they call you out on it, and you just said, well, fuck it, I'm going to just own it. Right. So I think there's I don't know if there's
misconception.
Yeah, I wonder if people misunderstand you.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm not saying this is not your problem or your issue to deal with. It's on them.
I was actually about to say, I can't remember who called me Cone King, but it just sounded good. But that's how much energy I'm putting into who actually did it, and it just sounded good.
I got you.
And at the end of the day, I am not really concerned about however anybody else lives their life, and I've never been that way. I live my life the way I live my life. I don't do things like cheat. I don't go into a competition with an advantage deliberately that I know you can't have. There's no way you can have it. I'll actually try and build it into the rules, as we do with a lot of things with autocross. So everybody gets the same advantage. We even move some things in the autocross that allowed 3 people to drive the same car. That's unheard of in motorsport. But the reason for that is your car may break down.
Or maybe you have a piece of shit and your buddy has a nice car.
Jody Ford, his car broke down at the beginning of the 2019 season. Guess which car he ended up driving? He ended up driving with myself and Jeffrey Olliott, driving his BMW, same class as his car. So, but at least he didn't lose an event. He ended up coming, I think, second in the overall championship and 3rd in the two-wheel drive championship. Only because he didn't miss the event. So, it's rules like that. So, I want to win fair.
Yeah.
I manage myself in a way where I always play fair. I can't cheat and win. I don't think that is right. But I do this for the old school fun of it. If I lose, rib me. If you lose, expect a ribbing. They're plastic trophies.
Yeah.
Even if you win cash prizes, the cash prize can't buy anything anyway apart from a case of beer.
Yeah.
Cases of beers. So enjoy yourself. Don't take it too personally. Don't do anything. So,
but what do you have anything to say to these people that kind of call you out and say, well, shit, man, you're talking, it's autocross, it's not real motorsport.
Yeah, come and do it. That's
right.
At the end of the day, it is the same thing. Come and do it, I can jokingly say, and I'll say this straight, this is jokingly say, half the people who, 97, and I will even go as far, 99% of the people who are out there mouthing me have never beaten an R5. Boom! But
I'm using that as the beginning of this
we got to
video.
use that as a clip.
Yeah. But that is where it comes from,
But I think even that alone,
but I'm saying come out and enjoy it. You came and you enjoyed it.
I think
I think
you're a confident person. I think that you enjoy competition, and I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that.
No, not at all. And there's nothing wrong with shit talk. I think people misunderstand.
You're always going to open yourself up.
Yeah.
That type of personality, and that's who you are. People are always going to say something, and I think if you're strong, hard-skinned enough, which you are clearly.
I also enjoy the banter.
Good.
No, but I think no.
So
but
I will see something
obvious.
and kind of egg it a little bit because I realize they're getting emotional. And I'm like, wow, that was easy. So
You got to poke the trolls.
poke, yeah.
Poke the trolls. No, but I think there's no doubt. I mean, and I told James this, I told you this. I mean, I think you're a great guy. You're very nice. You invite us to come and do this autocross thing, and there's definitely there has been or can be these. You can be involved in these negative conversations because people talk shit about autocross or and call you out to come and do X, Y, Z. And I think your response is the right one. Come and race autocross. And when you get the opportunity, go and race Bima Cup. Who cares?
I don't know if you know, but my car is open to anybody. I've invited Dane Skeet to come and drive my car. Didn't show up. I've invited other people like that. Didn't show up. And stop talking and do. Lewis Hamilton says it best. What his father said is, do your talking on the track. Nothing else really matters right now. No matter what somebody says off the track, it's on the track that makes a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna end with this. I think. Obviously you have a background in rally. You talked about doing the Caribbean Bima Cup. Any chance we get you in a rally car at some point?
I've been trying. I think I've done Rally Barbados as car 00. I've done other little events as I've done that. The Bima Cup is a little too slow for Rally Barbados for me. You kind of been there, done that. You want a new challenge. I enjoy the challenge. I think Rally Barbados is fantastic event to do. I've done it. I did it with James Betts' car. I did in 08. That's a whole other story. And then in 07, I did bring my car and my TV show, and I had my people driving it. They wrote it off after halfway through the second stage, but rolled it. And then say it's the greatest event. I think it is absolutely the greatest event in in the Caribbean, and I would even dare say in this whole region, North, Central, and South America. Rally Barbados is it. It's everything about it. But there comes a point where when you want to compete the way you want to compete and you can't afford it, have a beer.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Or in this
Well
case,
said.
have a Mount Gay on ice and enjoy yourself.
Well said.
Well said.
I think that's a great way to. I think that's a great way to end it.
Chris, I want to thank you very much for coming in. I want to
Appreciate the time.
extend thanks for inviting us out and
Definitely
letting Jeremy make a fool of himself.
He didn't.
I'll be back.
Yeah, I just really want to thank you and